Hello, seniors, senior parents, and family members. Welcome to Pine Island High School Graduation 2020 Plan B. We was just over a week ago now that we connected in a YouTube live session and talked about a plan we really felt good about, a plan that was unique, a plan that honored our grads and still felt like a nice graduation ceremony. As many of you know, then on Friday, we had recommendations or guidelines from MD and our governor that did require some changes to that. So we've been looking closely in the meantime of how can we keep the aspects of our plan we thought were really good, but make the changes to that we needed to. And I think we are ready now to share with you what our Plan B is. So without further ado, we'll get started. First things first, the key guidelines we needed to look at that impacted our plan changes. First one was no in-person gatherings not permitted. This impacts the parents being on the field. Outside events in stadiums and football fields not permitted. That was pretty clear as well. Caps should not be thrown, and if windows are open, cars should be 6 feet apart. This will be something we'll talk about in our Plan B here that'll certainly be a part of that. So, Plan B changes. One thing to point out, keep students in their own golf cart. That is maintaining. It definitely seemed like for sure from our students something we thought was a unique part of our plan we wanted to keep. It is moving from the football field to the student parking lot. We have added a stage with FM sound and live streaming. I think this is definite bonus from our first plan. We don't have to worry about sound as it'll come into vehicles, live streaming, so not only for those that are there, but more importantly those that cannot be there. That live streaming will be shown on a large video screen that'll be above the stage. Parents will be in a family vehicle. Again, I think this is one that gives us maybe a step up on Plan A, where we had some worried about maybe a younger sibling or somebody that needed to be there. It is one family vehicle. We will have in our form that we'll send out after this. I know we have some split family situations. That would be the only extra vehicles that we have is if we have split family situations. Again, that would be a family vehicle. Parents will still get a folder with the diplomas and awards upon entry. That'll be part of our controlled entry process. So we are able to control the number of vehicles in there. And a production company that we're working with does not offer a rain date. So they may offer a rain delay. We'll be back time up a little bit. So it might be a graduation in the dark if that's the case. But also based on everything that we have, unless it's raining pretty hard or nasty, we're going to be going ahead with the ceremony in the rain. All right. Little information about golf carts. Again, one cart per student. This was a question that came up after Plan A was presented. You may use your own personal cart if you choose. We'll have that as a part in the form you can select. It does need to be a golf cart. This isn't time for a Razor, a Ranger, or some other unique vehicle. Some of those students who have their hot rod racing yard tractors or something, it must be a golf cart. Must be appropriate. Some may not be able to or not be comfortable driving. This was also a question, something that came up. If that is the case, and we'll have this on the form, you will need to select a family member to drive that grad through the ceremony. We'll have that marked on there. If you have any questions about it, you can contact me. And just a reminder, you must drive those responsibly. Those who do not may be removed from the ceremony and will be liable. I really feel like our kids get that and we'll be just fine, but I did need to make sure we mention that piece as well. Timeline. Like I said, we backed it up a little bit. 7 o'clock is going to be our lineup time at Collins Park. This has to do with the sunset and the view. We want to make sure everybody's got a good angle. Was out there on Tuesday night on a beautiful sunny night, and at 7 to 7:30 it was pretty hard to look to the west, but after that if we hit a nice night like that, it'll be a beautiful sunset time for graduation. We'll begin our parade then at 7:10, where again we will head down from Collins Park towards Main Street, turn south on Main Street, all the way down to 7th Street, where we'll turn east and then wiggle back to 8th Street. We'll show that route as well. Timeline, getting back to that, 7:20 is about what time between 7:20 and 7:35. We expect that parents will be pulling into that parking lot on the south side of the softball fields off of 8th Street. They'll drop off the grad and we'll show how that'll look. Then they'll have plenty of time between 7:35 and 7:55 to pull up on 3rd Avenue, which is the street right by the baseball field, back by the student parking lot, where we will have a controlled entrance, and we'll show that as well. Ceremony will include speeches and diplomas, and graduates will still go across the stage. Parade route. Just again, it shows the route down Main Street over 7th. Doesn't quite show on the picture, the little wiggle down to 8th Street. Just a keynote on this one, the vehicle used in the parade will be the vehicle at the ceremony, which must fit in a regular marked out parking spot in our lot. Feel free to decorate that, but please do it in an appropriate manner and something that isn't going to be disruptive during the ceremony. Continuing on to the drop-off. Sorry about the picture. The most up-to-date satellite shot I could find was with our construction going on. But just wanted to show this. This is A Street that comes to the south of our parking lots. You will enter on the east side entrance, come in, drop the Grad off, and then exit the west entrance or access and go back to 3rd Avenue. Students, graduates, when you get out of the vehicle, you will walk down the blacktop path that goes between the softball fields back to the north of there, where we will have the golf carts ready to go, and we'll have that organized and show you where to get on those golf carts. We'll cover that in our practice session next Thursday. But this is what it looks like at the drop-off area. Continuing on to the layout of our ceremony. So parents, as mentioned, you will come in here on 3rd Avenue. You see the parking areas, and we'll probably have this closed off, and you will be directed where to park in here. We will be taking into consideration the type of vehicle and where we park you. It'll be a checkerboard parking spot, meaning there won't be cars right next to each other. That follows those guidelines, because then you would not be allowed to roll your windows down. We wanted you to have that flexibility if needed. All right. The stage is up here, right, really outside the door of our Panther door, facing to the east. And our grads will be on either side of the stage with their golf carts in those areas. All right. So the procession, once all of our parents, I should note, before parents, this is where you will enter. We will have a trailer and a table with staff members handing out folders, and you will have to identify your child's name, your graduate's name, and we will give you the folder that has their diploma, awards, and other, as well as a program and other important documents. And from there, you will be directed to a staff member who will be up in this area, sending you to the next person to tell you where to park. Once all family are in, our graduates will actually be coming up the path from the baseball field, the blacktop path by the baseball field, coming into our area, and we will do a loop with the grads around all vehicles just for good visibility. So we will follow in and go all around the parking lot so that we can get a good vision of all of our grads before they come around and park. And again, we'll have the first half of our grads parked over here on the south side and the other half parked on the north side of the stage for our ceremony. At that point in time, we'll start with speeches and some of those other things. When it is time to bring our grads up to get diplomas, this is the route. So they will all of them from both sides will follow around outside. This street again is blocked off, coming around back on 3rd Avenue, where they will loop around to our very first grad, who will pull up, park their cart in front of the stage, get off, walk up, get their diploma, have a picture taken, do all those things, get back down, get in their cart, and do a loop again through the parking lot with their diploma. So they'll be doing this by themselves. This is the black line coming around. The gray line then shows that they will exit there and get back into line, so that when we have the last student get their diploma, we can pull all the carts up and park again, because following that we'll have a couple more speeches. The students giving speeches will get off their cart and be able to walk up onto the stage. After all the diplomas are given out and we're back, we will have the students parked here again, and we will do the presentation of the class just like we would in any normal scenario. This would be a great time to honk the horns and yell and scream and celebrate those kids. Students will talk about what we might be able to do in lieu of throwing hats all over the place. After that, and after our closing speech, we will have our recessional, where students will again follow out. We'll come in this way, get one last loop around inside the parking lot to go by all the parents, get that last picture in their golf cart with the gown and cap and everything else. We will exit, and we will either be heading to the east across that same path, or be led by our local deputy school resource officer through this way. I want to point out, at that point in time, I'm anticipating that being sometime around 9 or a little before. It's not quite dark yet. It's really kind of a beautiful time if we get a nice day. So we'll be counting on them for help if we're getting on to that point as far as guiding us from a law enforcement standpoint. After the ceremony, vehicles will be ushered out in a controlled manner, heading back towards the parking lot to pick up the grads off of A Street. And please do leave after you pick up the grad, as we will have more traffic coming through, and we need to not be held up and taking group pictures and those kind of things, because it wouldn't be acceptable with the social distancing. And students, we will have a practice session scheduled for Thursday as a virtual meeting with all of you. I'll send that information out. This is normal like we would do any other year for graduation, and we'll just talk through the specifics so that you know what you're doing on Friday night. Again, I know it's not the exact same. I think it's a very unique plan, something that you will without a doubt not forget. I'm excited about it. I hope you are. I want to give a huge thank you to Mike Adelsman and the Pine Island Golf Course for their support, helping getting golf carts, City of Pine Island, and all of our community who's been really great about helping us try to pull off a ceremony to honor our grads while still being safe, but make it something you'll remember. And I think I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.